Right, what's going on, Punkanormal? I am here with Chris, number 2 from Anti-Flag. How's it going, man?
Very good, very good. I am home for a bit. We've actually had the longest break that I can remember in the last almost 4 years, and I'm like in the last 3 weeks of it, and kind of Puza Fest that we're doing, and some other like isolated festivals. Those are the first like kickbacks back into playing. So I'm excited to do the podcast, but to know that it was done under the premise that a show is going to come soon, I'm like, fuck, it's almost it's almost time to go back and do the thing. But it's okay. I mean, we have a really busy year and we have to get back into it, but it has been nice to have some downtime here for a little bit.
So what have you been doing to stay busy?
Well, not to sound like I am pandering to a primarily Canadian audience, I would assume, but I play ice hockey like every day, like that's my thing. Yeah. So, but I also know that it has like a different connotation, in Canada, where hockey players were kind of the jocks, but in the States it's different. Like hockey players were way more the kids that were kind of misfits, so the jocks in America played football. So we definitely have, like, every time I bring it up, people are always like, man, those guys were assholes, and I was like, well, it was different. It's different in Pittsburgh, Mary Lemieux came and everyone got a stick, like that's how it happened. so yeah, but I moved recently, so that's taken a lot of my time, and getting settled in with that. So that, like, the break was actually really good because it kind of coincided when with moving and needing some time to settle in. But other than that, we have the studio, and I'm always trying to like produce records from friends' bands, and doing that, and that's kind of my life. I get up early and play hockey so that I don't sleep all day, and then go to the studio, and then end up at home trying to build a IKEA bookshelf or something.
So did you find like a daytime beer league or something, or who are you playing with?
Yeah, so we have in Pittsburgh, we have like every rink does a morning pickup, and if you wanted to, you could play every day 9 a.m. to like 3 p.m. and have a decent skate. But the beer league that I am in is mostly like weekends. So
okay.
Yeah.
I guess you can't really commit to a team when you're on tour for most of the year.
Well, so what I do is I'm on like 3 teams, and I just play when I'm home every night. and then they get mad at me or bummed at me whenever I leave town for however long. But at this point, like, it's a decent group of guys with all of them, so they all know. They're like, okay, yeah, playoffs come. See you later. That's usually how it happens.
What position do you play?
Ironically, I play left wing, but that's it's more of a political thing, but also yeah. But yeah, I mean, I played D as a kid, and I didn't really like it, but I was taller than everyone else and had a reach, so they kept me back there. And then now that I can do what I want to do, I play left wing. So.
Okay, well, it's not like you're the goalie leaving your team high and dry or anything.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
Cool. So do you think your Penguins can do the three-peat?
Yeah, I'm actually, like, in the background is this Penguins Columbus game, which is seemingly really high stakes because the two teams are tied right now and will probably face each other in the first round of the playoffs if it stays that way. And they just don't look sharp, and there's only 2 games left, and I don't everyone keeps talking about it like they're gonna like flip some switch and be a different team once it starts, but typically you kind of have to be stringing wins together at the end of the year and rolling in hot. But after the last 2 years, I won't count them out ever. And again, when Mary Lemieux came in 1984, I had to believe that the Penguins were going to win the Stanley Cup every year since then. So I do wish that they would win, but they've played so much hockey, and especially like Sid and Gino with the Olympics that they played before, then the Worlds that they played in the middle. Those two guys have, like, I heard something like they played 300 games over the last 2 years. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. So, if they bow out early, I won't be upset, and I understand that, other people need to win. Yeah. I am a socialist at heart. So I want everyone to win, but, at the same time, I'm not allowed to root for them to win.
Well, I root for the Ottawa Senators. So when Chris Kunitz broke our heart last year, wasn't super stoked on your boys, but whatever.
No, that was a tough game. That was a tough series. It was a much tougher series than anyone here anticipated, for sure. And I think that it's they've finished the season against Ottawa this week, maybe tomorrow, I think, actually. Because Saturday's the last day of the season, and I think they're the only team that doesn't play, so it must be tomorrow. But I love the game, and I have my whole life, so I definitely will watch every team, and I don't, in Pittsburgh we're supposed to hate Ovechkin, but I think he's an amazing player, and so I don't really subscribe to much of that. But
except the Flyers. But fuck those guys.
But again, that's what I was getting to. Except Philadelphia, and they're just too mean, And if it wasn't a cultural shift towards being negative to everything, which what's also funny about this is that the Flyers are Hugo, who runs Puza. They're his team. He loves the Flyers. And I'm just like, how can you, the nicest guy I know, like this team from this town with the worst people in the world?
and he's from Montreal. They love hockey.
I know. Yeah, which is weird too.
That's funny. So there's actually quite a few punk rockers that are pretty big into hockey. Have you ever, I know Eric Melvin's always looking to play.
Yeah. So it's really funny because so I definitely am like the Johnny Appleseed of getting musicians who once played hockey or love hockey into traveling with their gear and trying to play hockey all the time. So about, I'm going to say 2008, I started getting back into playing. I played for the junior Pens team and was pretty heavily into the game. I thought I was going to go to college to play hockey, and then I started playing music, and I found the Dead Kennedys, and when the coach yelled at me, I was like, "Fuck you," because that's what you do, and so I quit playing right when I was turning 17. And at the end of being 17, I ended up joining Anti-Flag. So it was a pretty quick transition from you're going to go to school to play ice hockey to fuck everything. I play punk music now. And so I really stayed away from it for about 10 years because I joined the band at the end of 98. And I didn't start playing again until 2008. So once I did that, I was like, we have this really cool thing that we do. We travel, we get to be in all these different places. I guarantee that there are other people who play hockey in these towns, you know? And then like Twitter happened in 2010. So I started using Twitter and like reaching out to like, I'd be like, hey, I'll gladly give you tickets to the show if you pick me up in your car and take me to the local rink. And, you know, I didn't get murdered. I'm still here. And I created like a pretty decent network of people that I know around, you know, the US and Canada that will come and pick me up with their car, and we'll go and we'll skate in the morning before the show. And then sure enough, I'll see them in the pit later and be like, yeah, this fucking rules, you know?
To hear the rest of this interview, check out punkanormalactivity.com or use one of your favorite podcast apps such as SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, and more. Hope you guys check it out.